Hello lovelies, and welcome to this week's YouTube Pagan Challenge video. This week is our favorite books or most inspirational books. I'm currently moving, so all of my books are kind of packed away except for a few. So I'm pretty much in this video just going to say some good starter books that kind of helped me back like 14 years ago, and then the past couple years when I got back into it, as well as the two books that I'm currently reading to make it a little easier. And I also wrote down a couple other things, but they kind of relate back to the beginning type stuff. So right here I have Wicca for One by Raymond Buckland, which I think for any solitary Wiccan, witch, pagan, whether you're eclectic, whether you just don't want to fully follow Wicca, whatever, I think this is really good for you if you are a solitary. As you can tell, it's been really used. It has a lot of like stuff. It tells you how to like open a circle, open a circle, close a circle, do basic full moon rituals and new moon rituals and Sabbats, and tells you a little bit about like healing and things of that nature. In the future I'm gonna have like book rec videos, so it's just kind of difficult because everything's like packed away. So that's one. That's like the only one of the recommended like favorite books that helped me on my path type thing that I have unpacked currently. Some other ones would be a guide for spiritual practitioner by Scott Cunningham. A lot of Scott Cunningham books I would highly recommend. Cunningham and Buckland were pretty much like the first people that I really read a lot of books by. Another good one is Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft, which gives you in the beginning like a whole history of witchcraft and all that great stuff, and then it goes into like spells and whole bunch of stuff. It's a really big book, but it's really awesome, and I think that like every pagan should own it of all strains. So again, a lot of Cunningham and a lot of Buckland. A lot of my herbal and essential oil studies came from Cunningham books as well as others, but like there is a Cunningham book, I can't think of the name off the top of my head because the book is packed away, but it's really good for that. Again, this is not a complete list of my favorites because they're all packed away, so I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Grimwore of a Green Witch by Moura. Of course, over time I started being like, okay, I'm reading a lot of books by dudes. I mean, another one that's on my list is the Book of the Law by Crowley. So again, like I'm kind of eclectic. I kind of mix and match various paganisms. So like I noticed a lot of the books that I was reading were dudes, and I was like, okay, where are my women at? So yeah, the Grimoire of a Green Witch by Moura is pretty rad and pretty awesome. Also, I do a lot of Druid type stuff. So Druid magic, practice of Celtic wisdom is a great one that I highly recommend, which I wish wasn't packed away right now. So you can see it's decent sized. And a lot of chakra books, a lot of oil books, a lot of herb books, a lot of candle magic, a lot of spell books. Again, packed away, but I will in the future have book rec videos. So I also brought these up in my introduction to my Embrace the Inner Goddess series, but Joy Reichardt's books that kind of tell different versions of the goddesses and tell it from a non-patriarchal brainwash type society view. That whole collection is a must-have that I think all witches, all pagans, whether you're Wiccan, whether you're Druid, whether you're just spiritualist, whatever, should really dive into. Or if you're just like agnostic or atheist and you're a feminist, it's really awesome stuff to read. So what I'm currently reading is actually, one is a book that was from a different book rec video by a different pagan YouTuber called The Candle Magic Workbook. And it's what's different about this one is it actually like has places for you to take notes. It teaches you how to develop your power. It doesn't just tell you like what each color means or all that good stuff that you can find in books like this or the big book or the little book of Big Magic. I don't recall what it's called, but it's like this big book and it's like supposed to be like a little book on big, I don't know. But like a lot of books on candle magic don't really give you like worksheets, kind of like you have actual worksheets and they help you like create chants. Here's like an example, like I don't know how well you can see this, but it has like chants of how you see the goal or desire manifested, the equipment you need, what stage of the moon you're gonna need, and it kind of helps you develop on your own to put into your head what each color candle does, what each type of candle stands for astrologically, instead of just you being able to go back to a reference book like this that says, oh, for Tauruses it should be this, or blah, blah, blah. This is really, really good. I can't really explain how great it is, but this is a must-have. And I got this used on Amazon for a hella cheap, like only a couple dollars. So, and it wasn't even written in or anything. It also tells you about like dressing candles. It has like the fragrances and all that great stuff. So I'm gonna take up the like 20 minutes just talking about how awesome this book is. And then the other book that I'm like slowly starting to get into is The Great Goddess, which the reverence of the divine feminine from the Paleolithic. I can never say that, and I used to be an anthro minor before I switched to history. Paleolithic to the present. By Jean Markale, who's also the author of The Women of the Celts. And it's just a really good book that kind of explores a historical thing. It also has to do with the patriarchy and the feminine and how things have changed over time and the views of like Isis, Heather, Demeter, whatever you want to call her, the Great Goddess. So again, another one that I got used on Amazon and was a pretty decent price. So again, highly recommend. So to review, if you're starting out, yeah, you might want to go to the guys, the dudes, especially if you're going to be a solitary. So Buckland, Cunningham, Crowley, you know, figure out which path you want to go on. Look at the Druid. Again, it's called Druid Magic, Practice of Celtic Wisdom. Look at that. And then go from there, and you can kind of see where you want to go. Again, we'll have future videos of book recs, because in this one, they kind of wanted you to say your favorite books, but you don't get a lot of time to explain why they're your favorite books or why they're so important. So that's all the time I'm going to take up for today on this. I will write down the ones that I mentioned in today's video, and maybe I'll just make it like once a week. I'll just talk about, like, once things get settled, because I'm moving, I'll talk about like one book in depth about why you should read it or something. So anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter. There's always some good extra tips and quotes and good deals on my readings and my shop. Check out my Etsy shop and follow me on Instagram, like me on Facebook, all that great stuff. And I'll see you in a couple days. Love you, and I hope you all have a great day.